Fantastic. I love that background, Lloyd. If it's not real, I don't want to know. It's absolutely, looks like a great office there. So in time-honored tradition, I'm going to invite each of you just to give the elevator pitch to our wonderful delegates here at iGaming Next. What do you do? How do you do it? And what should people know about you? And we're going to start with your good self, Meike.
Okay. I'm Meike Krautscheid. I'm the CCO of SmartLedger. We are a blockchain solution distribution channel, and we have access to more than 250 patented blockchain innovations or patent-pending blockchain innovations that we bring into all sorts of industries. And we implement the services, we also do consulting, we customize products and services, and also creating our own applications on a highly scalable blockchain technology that is really sustainable.
Fantastic. And your good self, Roman.
Hey, so I've been in the crypto industry starting from 2012 when just for fun, I heard about Bitcoin and I started to buy them every month for 25 euros. Back then it was like 7 euros per Bitcoin. And so now, for the last 4 years, I'm working in Yolo, and we basically have a few gambling brands, Sportsbet.io and BitCasino.io. So they are primarily crypto-first gambling sites, and yeah, that's what they do.
Fantastic, thank you, Roman. And coming over to your good self, Lloyd, talk to us about your work at FunFair Games.
Sure, yeah. So I'm Lloyd Purser, CEO of FunFair Technologies. We've been in the blockchain and gambling space for quite a while now. Started about 4 years ago, built a completely decentralized platform, casino platform, games, affiliate system on the Ethereum blockchain. More recently, we are focusing on developing multiplayer games for the regulated gambling industry. We embarked on that very recently and have released our first games in May and have more coming out. And on top of that, we're now in the process of building and launching a NFT racing game, which will operate on blockchain, but also looking to have native versions of that game working in the App Store. So we're looking at solving a fair amount of problems that currently exist between NFTs and gaming. Not in the gambling space specifically now, but very much in the gaming space, which is where we see some significant potential and potential traction when it comes to NFTs.
Okay, fantastic. And I'd like to ask a question to our panelists and also to our audience. Could you put your hand up if you own crypto, if you own coins? Okay, lots of hands going up there, and everybody on our panel, of course, absolutely, brilliant. So, Meike, talk to us a bit about the use of blockchain technology in the gaming and gambling sector. Is one blockchain better than the other? Have they got different utilities? What should people know about this fantastic underlying tech?
So the blockchain technology is really a huge field, a really diverse field with lots of opportunities, but only when you are actually using the right technology. So the blockchain technology is actually blockchain technologies with almost more than 900 different technologies, and most of them are actually not economically technologically feasible and sustainable. Actually, it was kind of amusing because several months ago, I was sending messages to FunFair because I heard that one of their services couldn't be continued anymore because they were using the Ethereum blockchain, and I was reaching out, offering help to solve this problem. Using the wrong technology can lead that you have to stop your services because the technology is not scalable, the transaction fees are too high in terms of, for example, with Ethereum. It's not flexible. So we are building on a blockchain technology that is highly scalable, flexible, sustainable, so we can do anything. We can do tokenization, smart contracts, recording contracts, and this underlying protocol is stable. And so we can be confident that our work won't go to waste because the underlying protocol has changed. And when it comes to iGaming, gambling industry, so many people think about blockchain technology of transferring or doing microtransactions, money management, contactless payments, and all these things about payment. But the even greater field is actually handling data through the blockchain technology. And this technology, it's called BSV blockchain. It is currently able to transact up to 2 gigabyte blocks. When you think about BTC, which most people are calling Bitcoin, which it is actually not, it can do like 2 Mbit blocks. So the capacity is immense more. And so as you was just hearing before in a panel, the cancer product, or cancer service, is doing like a on-chain notarization service. And there are possibilities with NFTs. So for example, when we talk about gaming and gambling, there could be, with NFTs, awards of NFTs or certificates. And also, gamblers can be incentivized to reactivate their account with, for example, NFT amenities or vouchers, and especially, I think not NFTs alone are like special, but in combination with further technologies like geolocations or VR, AR, and that's what we actually also doing with SmartLedger. We are creating a platform, it's called Ticket Mint, where we create tickets with NFTs, but in combination with all these different new technologies, which creates a wonderful user experience.
Fantastic, fantastic. That's absolutely brilliant. So, you mentioned NFTs there. I'd like to come over to your good self, Roman. Now, I've got a very short question for you. I know that Yolo Investments is obviously all over the tech space, all over the crypto space, the iGaming space. But my question is, NFTs, WTF, what do you see? Do you see a future for NFTs in the sector? How can they be used?
I think there's 2 sides to NFTs. So I think there's personally a pointless side to them, and then I see there's a side to them that has huge potential.
Okay.
So I think what we're seeing at the moment, so NFTs are, I think, very big in this like digital art space.
Yeah.
And I think this is kind of a pointless thing personally. So just backstage, I was looking like what was the most expensive NFT that was bought in the last 24 hours. So it was like a picture of a monkey that cost 600,000 euros. So while I'm reading an article about this monkey, I can see I can own the same picture of the same monkey for free, but I can also buy it for 600,000 euros. So it doesn't make any financial sense to me. So I would say this is like the pointless part for myself. What I see there is like it just gives you bragging rights. But I think the technology of NFTs, they're definitely here to stay. So in the future, I can see like basically anything that you own, either digitally or physically, you could have an NFT associated with it. So for example, if you want to go and buy a Chanel bag, for example, you wouldn't know if it's a fake or real one, but if you get the bag together with an NFT proving that it's real, then you actually know that it's real. And if we go into the crypto industry or in the gambling industry, then yeah, there's lots of stuff that we can do around NFTs. Let's say if we give bonuses to customers, we can figure out ways how to make these NFTs, and maybe we can even create an aftermarket for them.
Very interesting. So it's a bit of WT and a bit of F, basically. So that's a good answer. Thank you. And coming over to yourself, Lloyd, do you see use cases for NFTs in the iGaming sector? We've got sort of maybe comparable spaces like Roblox, and they've got, but it's a walled garden. They've got their own currency, etc. Do you see any of the NFT tech kind of making a dent in the iGaming sector?
Yes, but not yet,
Right.
basically. There is application for it. As we found when we did our casino platform, highly regulated industries, it's often harder to break out the tech, I think, in that sense, especially in blockchain. I mean, we were, trying to get our casino platform regulated. And no fault, the regulators, they're not ready to regulate a fully decentralized casino platform. And I think similarly with NFTs, that could be a bit of a barrier. It's one of the reasons why we're focusing on gaming rather than iGaming. I agree with Roman. I think there could be application of NFTs in loyalty programs. We've definitely seen it in sort of IP and celebrity, let's say. DraftKings have released DraftKings Marketplace, which is actually tried to buy a Tom Brady autographed card. When they first came out, it sold within 2 minutes. I was 7,000th in the queue, and there were 5,000 available. So there's demand for it, and you could only buy these in fiat from memory as well. You had to buy it in dollars. So I think that there is starting breaking into the mainstream a little bit more. Companies like DraftKings will do that. DraftKings have also just released, yesterday or today, I can't remember, that they've gone into a strategic alliance with Polygon, which is a layer 2 blockchain, which also provides cheap and quick transactions. And that's actually the blockchain that we're going to be building our game on. So I think, think that there will be some trailblazers out there in the iGaming space. But again, if you look at what DraftKings are doing, it's not related to gambling per se. It's more related to selling NFTs where they may have rights deals, but I'm sure that they'll bring that into the gambling space at some point as well. But we're focused on gaming. We see the immediate use case in gaming. The fundamental difference, let's say, between, say, free-to-play social games or casual games and what you can do with blockchain and what you can do with NFTs is this play-to-earn mechanic, which is what a lot of blockchain and NFT-based games are currently providing. So if customers play and they invest a significant amount of time or money into a game, they earn things of value, and they are able to trade those things in a secondary market and earn from that. So it really takes the mindset in a gaming point of view as to how can we extract as much value as possible out of the customers, to how can we provide as much value as possible to customers through our game. And there are some of the most popular play-to-earn games out there, like Axie Infinity, for example, 2 million plus users, and some users in countries like Venezuela and the Philippines, which is actually the Philippines is their most played country, are earning a living out playing these blockchain games. So I think there is a shift in the gaming world, which is already happening. And I think that will translate to gambling at some point. But also there's the general point of gambling to win money. And you can play games and earn assets, which aren't necessarily money, right? They're NFTs, which can be translated into money. But when you're playing a slot game, for example, you're winning cash. And that's really what you want.
Yeah, absolutely. Brilliant, very interesting stuff. Thank you so much. And at this stage, I just wanted to remind you all that we have this lovely tool called Slido. You should have all received the QR code earlier. And it's the same QR code for the entire event. If you would like to ask a question to any of our crypto and NFT experts on stage or joining us virtually, send it in via Slido, and I will check it out in a bit. So we welcome your questions. Okay, thank you. Right, coming over to yourself, Meike. Oh, yeah, sorry. Do you want to
I'd like to add to Lloyd. So basically, a few weeks ago, Steam, one of the biggest computer game selling platforms online, so they actually banned games that allow NFTs. So I think whenever somebody bans something, you have to pay attention, like why are they banning it? So I think just the fact of somebody banning games having NFTs, it means that they're getting bigger. So the reason why they banned was that they don't want anything that has real life value. So basically what they're saying is that they can't control if you have an asset inside the game and it's an NFT, and then there is like an external aftermarket where somebody else is buying and selling these things. So they can't control it. So they decided, okay, we will ban it.
Wow. My goodness, interesting times, very fast-moving sector. And Meike, coming back to yourself, we've been hearing a lot over the conference about the importance of ESG metrics. Every industry really needs to be on the right side of this kind of environmental compliance. Do you think there's a role for crypto and NFTs in there in terms of provenance, and what are some of the other use cases that you're excited about?
Yeah, speaking about ESG, we are also creating an ESG platform based on blockchain technology. Indeed, amazing. Right. It's called ESG Stamp, where the blockchain technology gives a verified immutable proof of, let's say, companies or governments programs that they are acting sustainable. So. And coming back to smart contracts or NFTs, currently, I think one of the problems the field is facing is that they are actually only using smart contracts, not recording contracts. So smart contracts are actually doing like a programmed performance when a trade is being made. But the semantic richness of a contract, so what is a contract about, what jurisdiction, and so on, this is necessary, is actually necessary to be defined, and this is done by digitally automated contract. It's called recording contract, and this is actually currently missing in most of the industries. So it is necessary when dealing with NFTs not only to connect it with with smart contracts, but also with recording contracts.
Interesting. Okay, and you kind of raised a question there a bit earlier, Roman, about the fact that things can just be switched off. We had that thing happening with the NFTs being banned, kind of overnight. And obviously, big news. China banned crypto mining a little while ago, etc. I mean, is there, would you say there's any way of kind of hedging against these kind of unexpected, incidents that kind of affect the ecosystem? What's a strategy for making sure you've got a few different bases covered?
I don't really think you need to hedge against that. So I think when we look at back in the history, then always when you had superior technology, it's the winning technology. So hundreds of years ago, you had like factory workers striking when there was like some new machine being built that took over their work. So eventually, the technology always prevails. So I don't think that if you have this long-term view that you have to hedge.
Yeah, very, very good point. Thank you. And Lloyd, do you think there's going to be, or are you seeing an impact from the US infrastructure bill? Is that something that's kind of relevant?
Well, Bitcoin hit an all-time high yesterday, so that's good. So, I mean, we keep an eye on it, similar to what Roman mentioned. I mean, we try and keep an eye on things that might impact short-term, but that's not going to impact our long-term strategy. I think we are great believers in blockchain technology. We think it will change the way transactions are done, and especially in gaming and coming through in gambling as well. So as far as I see, a lot of these things, it's teething problems, it's growing pains, and it's things. This technology and the potential that it gives is going to end up having to go through some form of regulation. And that's what we're seeing, right? We're seeing, and you can't, for example, on Ethereum is decentralized, so you can't ban something from happening. If you know what I mean? The Ethereum. The Ethereum isn't effectively. There's a code base which is worked on, but no one can stop anything happening. You can't say, right, we're going to stop all NFTs working in Ethereum. The NFT standard exists, and that is what it is. So it's different when it's decentralized. I think what might happen with NFTs is you could have some of the app stores, for example, maybe like Apple or Google might have issue with NFTs coming in and out of the app stores. that's something that remains to be seen. But I think that there is for me, there is an unstoppable wave that's happening right now. And what we are seeing at the moment is part of that growing up. And, sentiment in the market, that Ethereum's at, I think, $4,200 at the moment. It was down at below 3,000 probably a month ago.
Yeah.
Bitcoin's up at $66,000 yesterday, an all-time high. So, I mean,
wow.
look, things aren't that bad. These things happen, but they're short term. And I think general sentiment in the crypto market is very strong.
Very good. Brilliant. Thank you. Yeah,
I
Meike.
would like to add that I think that the craziness of the market, it's actually crazy, all the prices, these pumps and dumps.
Oh, yeah.
The prices of the cryptos are mostly not connected anyhow with its usability. So BTC, for example, what is it? What's the use case besides maybe speculating on it? We have a technology there. It's a wonderful decentralized network for sure, and it's wasting a lot of energy, also for sure. But why it's only used? Why is it a waste? It's only used mostly for speculation, and rarely, only few are actually really profiting from it. And proof of work is the underlying consensus mechanism of BTC, and proof of work is not, you cannot say in general it's a waste of energy, because there are technologies based on proof of work that are highly scalable, so which brings the energy consumption per transaction to really low levels, and using then renewable energies, it will bring also the carbon footprint down to levels like a Visa transaction, for example. So I think this is also, it has to be considered, and so BTC doesn't provide much opportunities for real-life use cases, but other technologies like, for example, BSV, blockchain technology, can, I would say, serve all the use cases that you can think of. So, and this will bring so much value to the world, to the iGaming sector, to the gambling gaming sector, and that is what also I wanted to tell you all, use the right technology and work with trusted partners. Don't try to build everything from scratch, and use partnerships, do cooperations, and you will be able to bring wonderful products out to your customers that they will enjoy very soon.
Excellent, excellent. The future is indeed bright. And I just want to say thank you to everybody who's sending in the questions on Slido. That's absolutely brilliant. We're going to fly through a couple of them, so I'm just going to read them out. Whoever wants to answer, just jump in. This is a question from Ari P. Menendez. Thank you, Ari. The question is, NFT games based on looting boxes like crypto mines are a trend now. What are the possibilities of applying this same mechanic into casino with or without NFTs?
I don't know this game.
Okay, if nobody's got an answer, that's cool. If anyone wants to jump in, it's all good.
Probably Lloyd is best equipped to answer this one.
Thanks.
Well volunteered, Lloyd. Excellent. It worked its way around to you. Thank you.
So we've had a think about doing stuff with NFTs in iGaming. We've had a conversation with a couple of operators about doing it, and whatever you issue, the value of an NFT to somebody is the fact that they can resell it if they want, right? And they own it. So whatever you do, if you have something of value, whether it would be free, you could wrap up some free spins in an NFT, or you could have a sports bet that you might not want, and you might want to sell that sports bet onto someone else as an NFT. But when you think about that with regards to regulation, clearly you diminish the size of your market you can do, because the person who can use that NFT has to be KYC'd with the casino that has it, has to be available, have the ability to play in the market. We looked at some of those things and looked at some of the barriers and thought there's some interesting ideas there, but to do that in a regulated market at this point where it's such a sort of nascent technology, it probably isn't something we'd be looking at right now.
Okay, great answer. That was very specific question. Conrad.
To add on to that, I think one of the things that you have to figure out as a casino is that if you give something out as an NFT, like what's the point of the NFT? Will there be, how can you motivate people to get value out of it? Like, is there a way for the user who you give the NFT to, will there be somebody else who wants to buy this NFT out of them? So that's when you give this value. And maybe you have to say that, okay, at any point, I'm willing to buy it back myself with this specific sum, for example. But you have to find out the motivation.
Very good. Okay, thank you for that. We have more questions. Okay, this next question is from Conrad Butti. Thank you so much, Conrad. The question is, which blockchain check is the fastest, has the cheapest transaction cost, is stable and decentralized?
Well, there are actually several ones who can possibly scale, but it's, as you said, also decentralized. So many factors. And for us, the blockchain technology that we build our own services on is the BSV blockchain technology, which is really decentralized and low-cost fee as a fraction of a cent, stable protocol, highly scalable, upcoming Terra node, easily 100K transactions per second with a low latency, also very important, between 100 to 400 milliseconds. It's wonderful.
Fantastic. Great answer. Thank you. We're going to go to another question. Don't know who wants to jump in here. Great question from Anonymous. Do you plan to die crypto rich or will you cash out?
I will take that. So personally, I never intend to sell my crypto. So 95% of my net worth is in Bitcoin and Ethereum. So the way how I live, let's say if I want to buy something, like a house or a car, what I can do now with DeFi, with decentralized finance like Aave, you can actually take out the loan as using your crypto as collateral. For example, I took 100K euros and I bought Bitcoin miners. So what I did, I took my Bitcoins, added as collateral, and I took out the loan in USDT. While doing this, what I actually did, I set the price of Bitcoin in stone. So basically, when I have to pay back the loan, I'm paying the loan back in dollars. So what's it good for is that otherwise I would have to sell my Bitcoins, but now the price is going up. I would really be sorry that, okay, if I sell the Bitcoins at 50K, but tomorrow it's maybe 100K, so I would feel bad that I did a bad decision. So instead, I take a loan, and I use this loan to buy whatever I want, and I still get to keep my Bitcoin in the end. So that's how I intend to live until I die.
Okay, excellent. Very good. That deserves a round of applause. Absolutely. Okay, question for anybody who wants to jump in from Anonymous. Do you own any NFTs? And if so, what type? Who owns an NFT?
I do.
No.
Hey, okay, tell us about your NFT.
Speculation, really, more than anything, I'd say. But I've also bought... I actually minted a couple of NFTs that were free, which was a crazy idea from a game that came out called Loot, which basically minted a bunch of NFTs, didn't build a game, and said, hey, we're going to build a game. And they sold some of them for a significant amount of money. I got mine for free, which is good. They're not worth much at the moment. But I also have another Dark Horizon, which is it's a trading card game. And again, I bought that one at Mint, so bought it from the creator. And the game is in production. So I would try and build by NFTs that actually have some utility to them, can be used in game. I also did actually buy a digital horse on Zrun and raced it and tried to breed it and ended up selling it, which is quite interesting. But Zrun's very interesting, and I think that's an interesting project potentially within the gambling sphere as well, because it's what's called a metaverse of horse racing, where you can buy, race, breed horses, sell horses. The only thing that's missing out of that is actually gambling on the results of the horses, and the races do play out digitally in front of you. So if anyone's interested in the NFT space and links in some way to gambling, definitely check out Zrun. Maybe buy yourself a horse and try and win some races. It's good fun.
Okay, absolutely. Do you own an NFT, Meike?
Yes,
Hey.
besides our collectible NFT tickets from Ticketmint.
Oh, yeah.
I'm in a group, it's called Women in BSV, and we just created our own NFTs as ourselves as a collective, as collectibles for Halloween.
Wow.
So I myself am also like a NFT.
Fantastic, my God. So we got a real-life NFT on the stage. We've got an NFT horse breeder up there, which is an amazing thing to have on your LinkedIn profile. And we got an amazing trio of NFT experts. So ladies and gents, please join me in thanking us for that brilliant panel that answered the question, WTF is all the hype about.
Thank you.
Roman, Lloyd, and Meike, thank you so much.
Thank you.